People have always told you that you are an old soul. They mean it as a compliment, a nod to your maturity and your ability to handle things. But deep down, you know that this maturity wasn't a personality trait you were born with. It was a survival strategy you were forced to build. You feel a profound exhaustion that sleep cannot touch. It is the tiredness of someone who has been carrying the weight of the world since age 6. You likely struggle to relax, viewing leisure as dangerous. You feel responsible for everyone's emotions, scanning the room to keep the peace. This is not just who you are. This is the result of a psychological phenomenon called the accelerated self, or the child who grew up too fast. Today, we are going to explore the science of parentification and adultification. We will validate your pain and show you how to finally rest. Number 1. We need to define the mechanism that stole your childhood. Psychology calls this parentification, and it is a reversal of nature. In a healthy family, resources flow vertically. Love, money, and security flow down from the parent to the child. The child receives, the parent gives. But in your home, this flow was inverted. You became the provider of stability. You became the regulator of emotion. You became the parent to your parents. This is a violation of what family systems theorists call the ledger of merits. It is an ethical imbalance where you gave to earn the right to exist. There are 2 ways this happens. The first is called instrumental parentification. This is when the child becomes the physical manager of the house. Imagine being 8 years old. Instead of watching cartoons, you are standing on a stool to cook dinner because your mother is incapacitated or absent. You are the one paying the bills, decoding the letters from the bank, or taking care of your younger siblings. You are the glue holding the house up. While this builds confidence, it is a terrifying burden. You learn that if you stop working, the family creates chaos or ceases to function entirely. Number 2, the second and more damaging type, is emotional parentification. This is often invisible to the outside world, happening behind closed doors. This occurs when a parent is emotionally immature, narcissistic, or lonely. They do not see you as a child. They see you as a friend or a therapist. Imagine sitting at the kitchen table while your mother weeps about her marriage. She tells you details about your father that no child should know. She asks for your advice. She relies on you to soothe her anxiety. You are forced to become her sensory organ, constantly monitoring her moods. This is sometimes called covert incest. It's not sexual, but it violates your psychological boundaries. You became a surrogate spouse to your parent. The message you internalized was clear. Your feelings do not matter. Your job is to suppress your needs to prevent your parent from falling apart. Number 3. We have to talk about the adultification bias. This is where the pressure comes not just from the family, but from society itself. For many, especially in poverty or unstable housing, becoming an adult is not a choice. It is a prerequisite for survival in a harsh environment. If you grew up facing food insecurity, you didn't have the luxury of play. You had to metabolize the stress of survival economics before you could read. This is deeply racialized. Research shows that Black girls as young as 5 are perceived by adults as less innocent and more culpable than white peers. If you were a Black girl, your normal childhood curiosity or mistakes might have been punished as adult aggression. You were stripped of innocence. Society demanded you be strong. It demanded you be independent. You developed an armor of invulnerability because vulnerability was a death sentence. Number 4. There is a specific variation of this called the hurried child syndrome. This often happens in middle or upper class families. Here, the driver isn't poverty, it is an excess of expectation. You are viewed as a miniature adult, an extension of your parents' ego and ambition. Imagine a schedule packed so tight you cannot breathe. Piano, soccer, tutoring. Your worth was tied explicitly to your performance and achievement. You learn that love is conditional. You developed a type A personality before puberty, driven by a fear of failure and an inability to just be. Number 5. Let's look at the immigrant experience. For many, the acceleration comes from something called language brokering. If your parents didn't speak the local language, you became their voice. You translated medical diagnoses, legal documents, and financial crises. You held power that you shouldn't have held. You had to tell your own father that he was being evicted, or explain to your mother that she was sick. This reverses the hierarchy. You became the gatekeeper of the world for your parents. It gave you efficacy, but it also loaded you with immense shame. Number 6. We must discuss what this did to your brain. This isn't just a metaphor. Growing up too fast changes your neurobiological structure. Scientists call this allostatic load. It is the wear and tear on your body caused by chronic stress. Your fight-or-flight system never turned off. You lived in a state of hypervigilance. You were always waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the parent to yell, for the money to run out. This leads to a phenomenon called skin-deep resilience. On the outside, you look successful. You are competent, high-achieving, and organized. But underneath, your body is aging faster than it should. Your cells are tired. You are running on cortisol and adrenaline, mortgaging your future health. Your brain prioritized the development of the prefrontal cortex for planning and threat detection, but neglected the pathways for relaxation and play. Number 7. How does this manifest in your adult life today? The most common outcome is that you have become a workaholic or a perfectionist. For the parentified child, doing was the only way to feel safe. If you were useful, you wouldn't be abandoned. So you simply cannot stop working. You feel a visceral guilt when you try to rest. You view a free Saturday as a failure. You are constantly chasing achievement to fill a void of self-worth. You likely struggle with hyper-independence. You have a core belief that says, if I don't do it, nobody will. You are terrified of relying on others. Asking for help triggers a primal fear. It reminds you of the times you needed your parents and they weren't there. So you do everything yourself. Number 8. This trauma shows up most painfully in your romantic relationships. You are likely prone to overfunctioning and codependency. You are attracted to partners who need saving. You find people who are chaotic, addicted, or emotionally immature because that feels like home. You take charge of their lives. You fix their credit score, you manage their emotions, and then you resent them for not taking care of you in return. You might be a fawner. This is a trauma response where you merge with the needs of others to stay safe. You are a chameleon, unable to say no. For men, this often manifests as nice guy syndrome. You believe that if you are just good enough and suppress your needs, you will finally be loved. You suppress your anger and your sexuality, hoping to be rewarded. When you aren't, you feel a deep, passive-aggressive resentment toward your partner. You might also suffer from alexithymia. This is the inability to name your emotions. You feel the physical tightness, but you can't say I am sad. You learned to suppress your signals so long ago that the connection was severed. Your body screams in migraines and stomach aches, but you stay silent. Number 9. So how do we heal the accelerated self? The goal is to slow down the system and give the inner child the safety they never had. We can use a framework called Internal Family Systems, or IFS. It views your personality as a collection of parts. You have a manager part. Your manager is the voice that says, work harder, be perfect, don't trust anyone. It is trying to protect you from the pain of the exile. The exile is the part of you that is still 6 years old, terrified and lonely. Your manager works you to death so you never have to feel that loneliness. The healing comes when you thank the manager. You say, "Thank you for keeping me alive. You did a great job, but I am an adult now. I can handle this." Number 10. We must engage in reparenting. This means you become the parent to yourself that you never had. You must set boundaries to protect your time. You have to practice saying no. When you say no to a request, you are saying yes to your inner child. You are proving that you will protect them. You need to reclaim play. You need to find hobbies that have no goal. Do something useless just because it feels good. Teach your brain it is safe. You might try writing a letter to your younger self. Tell them, "I know you are scared that if we don't fix this, Mom will be angry, but I've got this." Number 11. There is a concept called post-traumatic growth. The very traits you develop to survive can become your greatest superpowers. Your ability to read a room, your empathy, your crisis management, these are gifts. But they must be used by choice, not by compulsion. When you detach your self-worth from your utility, you become a powerful leader. You move from compulsive caregiving to conscious altruism. You are allowed to be imperfect. You are allowed to be unproductive. You have paid your debts to the family ledger 1,000 times over. The journey of the accelerated child is a journey backward. It is a process of unlearning the survival strategies that no longer serve you. You are safe now. You don't have to carry the ceiling anymore. You can put it down. You can finally, after all these years, just be a child.